what are some of the, I guess, commonalities that you've seen, from government to education to nonprofits to some of the unique differences and kind of particularly now in your current role at, Takeda, a really large multinational pharmaceutical company, like that's a big contrast to where, some of the work that you did at the state government level. So just talk a little bit about some of those nuances.
What I think all these institutions have in common is um, a I think a fragility, a bit of a fragility around recognizing how racism is such a significant like factor in health equity work. I think that across the board, there's no shortage of the desire to do good. I think everyone intrinsically, there's a small percentage of people, but they're who don't, right? But they're overall, like the majority of people do want to do good. The majority of workplaces want to do good. The majority of healthcare organizations want to do good. But um, to not recognize and to not call out and to not stand up and work to actively deconstruct the impacts of racism in all of these systems is to sabotage your desire to do good, right? So I that is something that I see across the board, right? I think that there are some organizations that are slightly further along than others and maybe more progressive in thinking and policies, but by and large, the hesitancy and the just the fragility, there's really no other word for it, around talking about the impacts of racism, talking about the impacts of other forms of oppression as well, is something that these systems and these organizations are very uncomfortable with. And specifically how that ties directly to health equity. We can think about the critical race theory debate that's happening nationally right now, right? That somehow we should just forget about the past, that it doesn't have any bearing on where we are now. But that is totally untrue. That even goes against what America sees as being so important to our American history, right? So I think that that's something that is a form of resistance that I think I have to continue to, I don't want to say get used to, but realistically recognize that that's going to constantly be a barrier.